Greetings, everyone. Happy Memorial Day. I am your host and friend, Peg, and this is the History Shelf. Thanks for joining me, guys. Um, on this, wherever you are, it's a beautiful day here in Colorado. 80 degrees, 86-ish actually. So it's pretty warm. And I'm staying inside where it's cool. You know that much. I do try to do a little bit of yard work yesterday. And have to take breaks because man, that sun is brutal. But anyway, thank you for coming back to my channel on this Memorial Day weekend, or when you see it after. I hope everyone is having a lovely time with family and friends, enjoying themselves. And today I just wanted to do, just to recognize Memorial Day because it's such an important day of remembrance, especially for me as a military history geek, an ex-military Air Force member, just how important it is to remember the sacrifices that our men and women have made serving this country since our founding. And gosh, it's a big year, isn't it, for this country? We've got our 250th birthday coming up in July, and that's going to be something special. But I thought I'd show you just some of the books that I'm reading right now. And a lot of them are tied in with the Military May reading event on YouTube, on BookTube, that is being was created and is hosted by Patrice Jones over at 2 Minutes on Books. A lot of you are, taking up the challenge and reading some military, either history, memoir, fiction, this month. And so I'm sorry, I meant to do a mid-month update, but I can't believe how fast this month has flown by. I have just been swamped with work. What else is new? But I wanted to get a check-in, and I plan on doing a follow-up video as well to tell you about the books that I finished. But I'm still in process with at least 3 of these. So give me some some slack here, guys. And then I was going to show you some other books that I'm reading, and a brand new book that actually will be reviewing for a new outlet. I don't say outlet, but a new publication, which is online. So I'm pretty excited about that. I'm trying a new Zoom setting on my camera. I just figured, who wants to look at my floor? Apparently, you can still see a little bit of my floor, but I'm a little bit more zoomed in. So let me know how you guys feel about that. Wait, we're missing one critical element. I'm going to pause. And then when I come back from the pause, tell me in the comments below if you notice what it is. Hang on. All right, guys. What's different? All right, so I'm going to get into the books, but if you are a longtime viewer, I've got some exciting, for me, it's exciting. I'm getting some wonderful help from Martine. I'm going to be do a rebrand. I'm going to be doing a rebrand of, well, let's say just a brand, because I've never had a brand before. But for the History Shelf, I've decided, because I've been using the same banner on my YouTube channel and also on my Facebook page. And I've just been using a standard picture of my headshot for these locations. But I thought it was time for a facelift, for a little makeover. And Martine has worked some magic. Yeah, so I'm going to be unveiling. I'm so excited. She has done wonders. She's an instructional designer, and she knows Adobe Photoshop inside and out. She knows graphics. Okay. So she has been working diligently to give me a whole new folder of assets. Why is the automatic focus going off? Say I change one setting and then everything goes wonky. Wow, you guys are really zoomed in on my face. Terribly sorry if that is then you probably didn't want to see my pores. But anyway, guys, I'm a little verklempt here as I aspirate on my spit. We're going to be having a new avatar, and I say avatar, a profile picture soon on all my social media. So I just wanted to give you a heads up if you do follow me on social media, because that is where I post alerts to my written book reviews. As many of you know, let me put that back in there. History nerd and a book reviewer. I am a freelance book reviewer in my spare time. I have a full-time job, but I also write a lot of book reviews and I love it. And so I will usually post them in my social media because they are written, you know, they belong to someone else. So I have to point you to their page where my review is posted. So anyway, guys, okay, having said all that, let's clean that up. And then I leave junk on the floor because I decided in my pause that I was going to show you some of my magazines, my military magazines, because I figured that it was a perfect fit as well for Military May and also for Memorial Day. But we'll go ahead and start with our update. I am currently reading Preeminent Strategist, General Joseph Eggleston Johnston, the Confederacy's Most Agile General by F. Gregory Torretta. And this is put out by Casemate Books. As you all know, I do a lot of Casemate spotlight videos, one of my favorite military publishers. They go into great detail for those nerds like me that really get into just even reading like regimental level histories, tactics in depth. But they also have a nice assortment of biographies or books like this that kind of look at a key element in one military figure's life. So it's not a full-on biography. And in fact, as I was reading this, I was like, you know what? I'm starting to feel about Johnston the way I was feeling, and I still feel about Longstreet. These are two generals in the Confederacy that I actually am sympathetic towards in ways. Not for their, I don't mean like, fighting for the Confederacy, but how they comported themselves afterwards, how they not only their skills in fighting wars and battles and in the Mexican American War and also the Civil War, but how they tried to reintegrate back into the Union and just accept the fact that they were defeated. And Longstreet and Johnston were really good about that. And the rest, not so much. So anyway, I really want to get the full-on biography. I'm trying to think of who Joe Johnston's biographer is or was. I'm sure it's someone who put out a book in the 80s. So anyway, I'm going to look into that, and I want to get a full life biography of Joe Johnston here, because the beginning goes really quickly through his family history. It doesn't really cover too much of it. I mean, we are already into his service in the Mexican American War on page 20. So he's already a full-grown man 20 pages in. So this is mostly just about his ability to strategize, his tactics, and where he learned things from. So already I've learned that Joe Johnston was hugely influenced by General Winfield Scott, who was he was like the man alongside, was it General Zachary Taylor in the Mexican American War. But Joe Johnston was on staff of Winfield Scott, and he also led an artillery regiment. But there was a note here that I thought was very interesting, and I underlined it, that he learned a lot of his, maybe this author is suggesting that Joe Johnston learned some of the strategies that he employed later in the Civil War by the example of General Winfield Scott. I'll read this to you real quick. I think this was the Vera Cruz campaign in the Mexican American War. It was 1848. I believe it was so. Hang on. Oh, no. Nope. Hang on. Where is it? The Battle of Veracruz. Oh, well, okay. It's not giving me the year right here. I think that's when it ended. Anyway, Scott conducted the rest of the campaign in similar fashion by turning strong Mexican positions, avoiding direct assault when possible, thus keeping casualties low. And then the author is like, it's safe to assume that Joseph Johnston learned much from Scott's tactics. I've also learned that, and I kind of already knew this, but I didn't realize that Joe Johnston met and became good, close friends with Robert E. Lee at West Point, which explains a lot. I mean, and especially in the cover on the back of the book, that they're the two old guys, two old geezers. They're still friends in late in life. But anyway, I am enjoying this. It is prompting me to want to get the full Joseph Johnston biography. So like I said, I haven't gotten as far as I wanted to, but I am diligently. I had 2 crushing book review deadlines. I mean, crushing. And I don't get a 3-day weekend, folks. So yesterday was it? Yeah, Saturday. I wrote 2 about 1,200 words, and I cranked out 2 book reviews. One of the books I was still finishing reading. It was well over 500 pages. So now it's like, yay, I get to read things I want to read again. And this is one of them. So I am enjoying Preeminent Strategist. Oh, one more note about this and this author. I think I have his other book. See, this author has also written like a similar title about James Longstreet. So I think I already have that one. And I think Casemate sent me that one. So I need to get that one out. I'd like to read it in conjunction with this, or at least, maybe later this summer. But F. Gregory Torretta has also written Lieutenant General James Longstreet, Innovative Military Strategist. So, I mean, he's looking at these guys and giving them a complete, graded assessment, if you will, on how they manage their armies in the Civil War. So yeah, F. Gregory Torretta, I'm enjoying it. I have dipped into this next book. I showed you in my Military May launch video. I haven't gotten as far as I'd like. Like I said, I am really hoping later today and tomorrow I can get into this some more. But this is the one I showed you about, and this fits into the prompt of military memoir. And this is from a German soldier who was captured at Stalingrad and was a Soviet POW. And this is Stalingrad Survivor, a memoir of captivity, 1943 to 46, by Wolfram Redler. And it was translated, interestingly enough, by a U.S. naval officer. Let me just give you a little bit of what I learned so far from reading this. The translator, David Brian Lasher, is a retired U.S. naval officer, and he was a student of Redler's. I'm not sure of what, but he was a student of Redler's in the early 80s, and he wished to bring this work to the English-speaking world, which is important because, as Nick Cornish says in the introduction, such memories of the hideousness of the Eastern Front during World War II and its aftermath for the ordinary soldier involved are, all too often, overlooked or ignored, whereas those of the senior officers are widely available. So this is a very important addition to the oeuvre of of World War II Eastern Front memoirs, because, I have seen so many like senior officer memoirs, Soviet and German, more German than Soviet, but this is about an ordinary soldier's experience in a hellish nightmarescape. And I don't know German, so I can't tell you how good the translation is. All I can say is it's written very straightforward. I'm liking the first couple of chapters so far, and but it's very accessible. There's parts that are very kind of charming, and how he writes it. But this is gonna. Oh, and the other thing that's really interesting about this book is the author, or not the authors, but the Wolf. Who this is about? Wolfram Redler. He did all these tiny, he did artwork, he did sketches, and they are used at the end of every chapter. Okay. Look at that. So isn't that interesting? So every chapter, we've got like, or within the chapter, look at these sketches that he made. Um, this is amazing. So I really appreciate that added, just a little bit of flair, if you will. Um, oh, this is not flair. This is just sad. If you've got the skill, I wish I could draw. I never could. I can draw stick figures pretty well, but well, here they are. I'm trying to celebrate Christmas. I'm gathering. There we go. Okay, autofocus. Work with me. So I am enjoying this, and I hope to have some thoughts on this. I have also tiptoed my way through this book, and I always have these well, I have like that pile of possibilities that the Historathon folks do, and I love you, Historathon folks. I wish I could keep up with all of you guys. I've just got so much going on, but I do miss it, and I do watch your videos. But I love the pile of possibilities. Even when I was doing Historathon, I could never get through all of those books that I would select for myself for the month, just because I'm assigned so many books to review. But this one right here is still a very important book to have on the list that I want to finish. I probably will finish it sometime in June. I'm taking a week off at the end of June. My birthday is the last week of June. So I'm actually going to take a whole week off. I'm not going to just take 2 days or 3 days. I'm going to really just check out. And I'm going to do a bunch of reading that is not assigned for review. And I really hope to finish this one. Then this is The War Within a War, The Black Struggle in Vietnam and at Home. Sorry, guys, I'm still trying to get used to this Zoom. By Will Haygood. And I talked about this in my launch video. So if you want to learn more about it, go back to my previous Military May launch video, and where I give you the whole rundown. But an important book. And I'm trying to cover, you can see I'm covering 3 different wars here. I've got Civil War, Vietnam War, focus, okay, and then World War II stuff. So, but those are the 3 that I'm really trying to make headway on, so I can do a wrap-up video first or second week of June. And I'll come at you later with the Vietnam book, The War Within a War. But also, I think this should count towards Military May, because I have been doing this buddy read, it seems like forever, with Bill Rutenberg and Brian at the Krusty Codex, who has his channel. Please go over and subscribe to them both. Still very much enjoying Battle Cry of Freedom, my reread of James McPherson's epic 1-volume history of the Civil War. Subtitle is The Civil War Era. Yeah, so this is fantastic. And in fact, after I make this video and, finish for the day, I need to go and finish a chapter so I can log in on Voxer and give, listen to Bill and Brian's thoughts, and I will record my own thoughts. But we are over the halfway point, and we already have our next buddy read picked out, I'm pretty sure. So Battle Cry of Freedom, the Civil War era, we're definitely in the military chapters now. They're actually fighting the war. We are it's after Shiloh, and yeah, now I think it's a lot of, okay, the big one here is we're going to be covering Stonewall Jackson's Shenandoah Valley campaign of May and June 1862. So we've got big maps and stuff. So definitely some military reading right here going on. Highly recommend this to any of you wanting to learn about the Civil War. If you feel like it's such a broad topic, and it is, and a million different books have been written on it, and you just want 1 volume just to introduce you to it, see if it, you like it, and you want to continue to learn more about it and go into deeper detail, I can't think of a better book than Battle Cry of Freedom. It's just so accessible, and the footnotes are amazing. It will guide you to so many different resources, in primary material and secondary sources that are amazing. Okay, Now this book came in. I made a contact at the it's the online journal for the Air Force Historical Association, I believe. And I'm going to be reviewing with them. And so I'm very excited. And I get to choose which book I'd like to review. And what's nice is they give you time to do it. You know, they don't give you a deadline. They're like, get it to us in the next couple months. And I'm like, that I can do. So for the Air Force Historical Association Journal, I picked this one out because it sounds really fascinating. This is A Convenient Villain. Charles A. Lindbergh's remarkable and controversial legacy preparing the U.S. for war, by Jonathan D. Reich, M.D. and or that's his, this is one of his masters in engineering or something. This is put out by Author House. So I haven't introduced this book to you yet on this channel, so let me go ahead and read to you what this one's about. This book reevaluates the life and legacy of one of the most enigmatic and important political figures of the 20th century, Charles Lindbergh. The details and importance of Lindbergh's contributions to American air power in preparation for World War II has mostly been ignored. He also made some remarkable groundbreaking contributions to American medicine. Using his aerospace engineering and medical background, the author combed through archives to document these achievements. He also reviews Lindbergh's record opposing American entry into another European war to provide a new Jewish generational perspective on Lindbergh's advocacy and his conflict with American Jews. Okay, so there's a lot going on in this book. But yeah, his controversial legacy for preparing the U.S. for war. So let's see here. This is almost 400 pages. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued. So I'll be reviewing this for this new journal, online journal, and I'm very excited. All right. Yay. Okay, so let's maybe talk about some magazines. This is not going to be a 50-minute video because it is Memorial Day, and you should all be out doing something fun. It's Memorial Day, but it's also Military May. So let me show you 3 magazines I subscribe to. And I buy the as you can see, I keep I save my stuff. I save these journals because they're awesome and they're great references. Let's start with this. And I picked the last 2 issues so that you could get a sense of what type of topics they cover, or their cover stories, for each. It's bi-monthly, I think. So yeah. So the May-June issue of Strategy and Tactics. This is one I subscribe to, and this is available at the newsstand, everybody. I think you can find them at Barnes & Noble newsstands. So the cover story on this is the Battle of Pensacola, 1781. And then we have some other topics in here. Romanians at Stalingrad, but then it'll have ancient battles, such as like this one, Bagradas River, 255 BC. Then you go into Vietnam articles. A lot of these magazines from this particular publisher, Strategy and Tactics Press, they're big into war gaming, like board games, and I don't do that. But so a lot of their oh, this is cool. I mean, it's a well written, and it's a pleasing to look at magazine. I love it. But as you can see, a lot of things about board games. And people really get into it. Now, I don't, but if I ever did, I would have everything I need from these magazines. And I'll show you with one of them, the Quarterly magazine, they will send you these massive maps. It's really cool. But again, and these are ads, of course, because it makes sense, but they also, the magazine will I think they do something online where people can play these particular war games that they cover, or a battle. They'll do a war game of a certain battle that they cover in a certain issue. So, but yeah, they're really in depth, and they just, I don't know, I enjoy it, and great little articles. How Germany could have avoided defeat in 1918. We've got, let's see here, smaller articles on different types of battles from like 1300s. Yeah, all about strategy and tactics, not specific to any war or era or place. I mean, it goes all over the place. Let's see here. This big article on Hill 108, the battle for Hill 108. That's in Vietnam. So I enjoy these. This is the May, June 2026. And then I just recently got this one. This is about World War II, Forgotten Front, Italy, 1944 to 1945. And again, just a selection of other battles. And, oh, is this where I've seen that one? No, okay. Loving the maps. Oh, yes, this one's all about this. What article is this on? Peloponnesian War. Who doesn't love that? With all the talk about that movie, The Odyssey, coming out, how Athens could have won the Peloponnesian War. Great maps. So, and is it all, let's see, is it all war related? Kind of. Like, well, here's an interesting article. Allied psychological warfare in the Great War, so World War I. They get into any type of, like, it could be psychological, it could be weaponry, it could be recovery, like PTSD stuff, but mostly it is about how these wars were fought. Like, so for the cover story, they go way into detail. So let me show you. So this is the Forgotten Front, right? Now, next page. It gives you your maps. So it will give you like this size map, and then next page is just a full-on spread. Look at that. This is crazy stuff, right? Talk about just detail upon detail. And now I think these types of graphs are meant for a board game. I'm not sure, because this is just really, really detailed, like, I don't do anything with that. I just like to read about the actual, how the battle unfolded, the tactics used, all that kind of good stuff. But great photos and maps throughout. So, yeah, really love strategy and tactics. Now, Strategy and Tactics magazine also produces a very beautiful, thick, glossy, and if you're buying it at the newsstand, expensive. That's why I subscribe. It's cheaper. Strategy and Tactics Quarterly. At the newsstand, it's $25 for these, and they come with big maps and stuff. I don't have this one with me, but okay. Free map posters. See page 3. Yeah, I already took that one out. I'll take out the maps before I put the magazine into its magazine holder. But this one is the issue 33, spring 2026, and this is a badass cover. I love it. And this is Armies of the Dark Ages. I'm gonna get that glare off of there for you. Okay. Kind of perfect bound. There's no staples. This one they run about 100. Yeah, it's like 109 pages. Beautiful. And then, so these will focus strictly on one topic. So they go into quite a lot of detail. This is I love these. I love these magazines. Nice glossy. So it gives you a prelude, and they're using this medieval script as like an illuminated manuscript. And every succeeding article is an aspect of the Dark Ages. I'll show you another. Hope you guys don't mind me doing this. I'm just thought I'd do something different. Here's what I'll call a chapter. This is on the Frankish ascendancy. So again, maps all over the place. Artwork, loving it. There's a Viking Age chapter. So it's cheaper to subscribe to Strategy and Tactics Quarterly, because otherwise you're paying $25 at the newsstand for this. But it's to me, if you're into this like I am, it's a no-brainer. Now, I just received the summer 2026 issue, and look what we're talking about. Now we're moving back to World War II, and this is all about Operation Sea Lion, the plan to invade England. And it says, here's your free map. Well, let me show you what that is. They give you one of these bad boys. Let's see if the focus will. There we go. Yeah. I think this is for the war gamers. I don't really use anything with it, but look at that. I mean, but it's free. Look at this. So if you really wanted to study this and, you really wanted to get in close on stuff outside of this magazine, this map is pretty dope. I mean, whoever makes these maps are amazing. And this is all about a planned invasion. This didn't happen, but this was the plan. So how cool is this map? This is Sea Lion German invasion plans. And so anyway, Strategy and Tactics Quarterly will give you a free map for every issue. And anyway, I just thought I'd show you this, guys. Get this stuff out of the way. I don't know why I'm so awkward trying to show you. Yeah, pretty cool. All right, now that I have revealed myself as a epic nerd, let's show you the final magazine from this publisher. So if you just love World War II, like just straight up, that is your jam, then this is the magazine I would suggest. And you love reading like hardcore battle plans, battle strategy, battle tactics, how things unfolded from a more micro level, then this is the magazine for you. So let me show you the April-May issue. And this is World at War, the strategy and tactics of World War II. So this is just purely World War II history. Or I should say just battle history. Smaller magazine, runs to about 80 pages. And this Operation Winter Storm, which I have not heard of. So yeah, again, more advertisements for board battle games and stuff, war gaming stuff. Operation Winter Storm was von Manstein's first and worst defeat. Very cool. Here we go. I hope it's focusing. I can't tell since I'm so zoomed in. Why even try to fit my face into the frame? There you go. Yeah. All about World War II history. Compare and contrast British and German tactics in Operation Crusader. So if that, again, you're like me and you love stuff like that, you're going to love this magazine. Recently just got the June and July issue already of World at War. And then we are going to the West Front, 1944, Decision on the Rhine. Oh, I should say how much these are at the newsstand. These are more affordable, obviously, because it's not a quarterly and it's a smaller magazine as far as page count. These are about $12.99. World at War is $12.99 at the newsstand. just more maps and it's fantastic stuff. Look at Military May. This is perfect for Military May. We should always include maybe a periodical too. Who knows? Let's see here. Yeah, so $12.99. You've got World at War. And I think I do save with the subscription by mail. Strategy and Tactics Quarterly, $25, but you get over 100 pages, free maps. And then just Strategy and Tactics. And these are also $12.99. So these are $12.99 at the newsstand. So anyway, yeah, and all of these magazines made in the USA, baby. I just noticed that right now, looking at the perfect binding, made in the USA. So yeah. So support. I don't say local, but support national publishers that do this kind of stuff. It's our history. And of course, a lot of this is world history as well, with all the different eras and places around the globe where battles have been fought. These guys cover it. So there's plenty of great reading material here in these magazines. So, all right, guys. Well, that is my Memorial Day video and Military May update. Let me know in the comments below if you are still participating in Military May, how your reading is going, and what you've learned. If you learned anything new, or if you've kind of like really gotten into a new topic that you've never, really been into before relating to military history. I would love to learn that. So let me know in the comments below. In the meantime, I'm going to head off to do some more reading in Battle Cry of Freedom. And I will keep pecking away at these 3 books because these are the ones I think I really want to discuss when I am done. But I am also going to finish the book I showed you in my Military May announcement video about, written by Amy Hawk, about her stepfather's imprisonment, POW in North Vietnam. And I still want to get her back on the program for another interview about that book, about her stepfather's experiences being a POW. Anyway, guys, there's a lot going on at the channel. Like I said, stay tuned and keep it, subscribe or follow me on my social media channels. I'll be having a new logo kind of rolled out soon and a new look. And I hope you've been seeing some of the changes in the thumbnails a bit. I'm trying to, and Martine has been helping me. And of course I've played around a little bit with AI. So, I'm trying to figure out ways to make my thumbnails more attractive. You know what I'm saying? Because I feel like what we talk about here is really important stuff, the books that we talk about. And I just want to kind of elevate that by just having a cleaner look. So let me know what you think when that happens. I might do an announcement. I might even try to drop in some artwork in these videos here in my studio. I can drop things in. But anyway, let me go ahead and finish this up. I hope you're all doing well out there. Stay tuned for more. We've got a lot coming. We've got a huge stack of new June history releases. So that's coming up within a week or so. Yeah, so much history rolling out this summer. I was kind of surprised. Seems like fall is a time where a lot of these new titles roll out. But boy, there's a lot of really good stuff rolling out in June. Okay, guys, I can never say goodbye to you. I don't know how to quit you. Anyway, we're at the 40-minute mark, so I better go. Thanks for joining me here. I hope you're all doing well out there. Take care. Stay hydrated. Stay cool. And watch out, watch out for any stray thunderstorms and lightning bolts and whatever else can come at you on a Memorial Day weekend. I don't know. Anyway, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks for watching me here at the History Shelf, guys. I'm making a muddle of things, so let me head on out. Okay, bye.